Hey guys, welcome to another Monday with me and a new hat. So, before I was filming, we hadn't come up with a topic for this week, and the group gave me permission to choose a topic and surprise everyone. But I didn't want to pick something from our really epic list because a lot of those topics are better suited for later this year. So I figured I would pick something random and not on the list. So this week we're actually going to talk about story length. And I'll go over a brief list of what a story length category is called and what the word count should be roughly at. So first off is flash fiction, which is a story between 0 and 250 words. Then after that there is short stories, which is a story that is less than 7,500 words. Followed by novelettes, which are between 7,500 words and 17,499 words. Then you've got novellas, which are short novels, and they are between 17,500 words and 40,000 words. And then you have roughly the novel length, which can be between 40,000 words and on past that. I mean, you're talking 100,000, 175,000. So, for those of you that have read my writing blog, you'll notice that a good portion of the stories I write are either flash fiction or short stories. And at this point, I actually really prefer writing flash fiction, because writing a story that is less than 250 words is actually a lot of fun. It can really teach a writer less is more, which is important because sometimes you don't want to draw out a scene and make it long and boring and full of filler and description. Sometimes you really just want to cut to the chase, but cut to the chase artfully. And flash fiction does a great way at teaching that. It was actually introduced to me by Katie on a website called Flash Party. They haven't started up, and if they don't, I'm actually super tempted to pick up the idea and run with it. So there might be a future blogging project for me right there. The other thing is, a lot of the older stories on A Wandering Cellar Door have the length of about a short story. They're actually less than 7,500 words. They generally range between 1,600 and 3,000, I think is the longest short story I have on there. And it was one of the ones that I broke up into parts, because posting all of that in one go is just a giant wall of text, and that never looks good on the internet. As for novellas and novelettes, I've actually never written anything of that length, probably because they seem really in between and should just fit into the larger short story genre, I suppose. Well, not genre, but category. But they are supposed to be things that you could easily read in a day. And for both of those, certainly, you could read them in a day, maybe in a couple of hours. And then there's the novel length, and I tend to write that, especially during National Novel Writing Month, which we'll talk about towards the end of this month, and of course, probably for the majority of November, for those of us that are participating. But for the most part, yeah, I tend to write a lot of short stories and flash fiction, because I like writing things and being to the point, but doing it in a artful way, I suppose, would be the proper way to put that. Because otherwise, I don't like writing a lot of filler unless I'm writing for National Novel Writing Month, because filler is so unneeded. It draws out all this information that you don't really need to include. Sure, it's interesting and can make characters perhaps seem more real, but in my mind, writers should be able to express themselves by saying less is more and staying in that mindset, which is how I've written for probably the past 9 months to a year or so. And so that's actually probably the length you guys will see most often on my writing blog, is very short stories that are well under 7,500 words, and more than likely closer to the 250 word range or in the 4,000 range, because that's generally where I've always stuck. So I hope this topic was interesting, and yeah, it was kind of random and out of nowhere, but hopefully it provided a little bit of guidance onto deciding what category your written piece goes into. Anyway, have a fantastic Monday and a great week, and don't forget to be awesome. Bye.